Welcome back to Undiagnosed Baddie, your favorite daily 10-minute podcast. Today, we are talking about being the person in the relationship, specifically the woman, let's not get it twisted, that carries like the emotional, mental load of the relationship. Let me just go ahead and read what's going to be on screen. Y'all already know how this works. Miss Glamazon J. Keisha says, I get the girlies who are happy to turn their brains off whenever they're around their man. I do. I know some of us want to roll our eyes, but just imagine being around a man where you have to think for the both of you all the damn time and the emotional labor that entails. I'm gonna read that last part one more time because that's what the fuck I'm gonna be talking about, all right? But just imagine being around a man where you have to think for both of y'all all the damn time and the emotional labor that entails. Now, I'm going to start by saying that I'm going to talk about a very specific situationship that I was in because yeah, that's what was happening. So, I do want to state that this particular person, let's back all the way up. When we talk about adults, we have to get into how someone was raised and why they can or cannot do simple tasks, what we would deem simple tasks. Now, my mom was with my father and my stepfather. You know, there was a time period, obviously, in between where she was single, but there were men in the household with me, right? So some people say two-parent households are better than one-parent households, and that could be a debate. That's not this debate today, but I'm going to talk about the situation from the gentleman that I was dating. This gentleman did grow up in a two-parent household. However, the mother did every fucking thing. The mother did not allow the father to be a father. I've seen that in so many households. I have cousins who were not allowed to play not one fucking sport because, auntie, who's married into the family, was like, I don't want anything to happen to my sons. Not baseball, not lacrosse, not golf, not nothing. And they didn't play any sports. And because of this, the outcome from that was that they were not even athletic, but they had a lot of weight issues because they weren't allowed to do shit but sit. But again, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, let's stay focused just for one moment. So when I talk about the gentleman that I was dealing with and the mother being, I guess you could say, it was a matriarchal household where she did everything, and whatever it was that she did not allow the father to father. She did not allow the sons to grow up and make decisions. And thus, dating this man, it was hard for him to make any decisions and quote unquote lead because he did not know how. He was not prepared to do a damn thing. Everything he learned was on his own. Now, I remember going places with this person and this person just being like, well, I really can't they could not make a decision to save their fucking life. They could not take our relationship to the next level. All they wanted to do was eat because that's all they knew how to do, which was date. Was all they knew how to do was go on a date. They could not lead a relationship to the next stage. They could not lead me around an airport. How about that? They could not lead me around another country. They could not lead me even domestically in another state to do anything. It was always up to me to find things to do and get it done. And it's taxing. It's taxing when every situation and decision is on you, and it's like you're raising a child. It's like, well, I might as well be doing this with my child and not with a grown-ass man. I'm gonna read this one more time so y'all understand what the fuck I'm talking about. When we get into it, and they say, but just imagine being around a man where you have to think for the both of y'all all the damn time and the emotional labor that entails. And I remember asking this person one time, like, why can't you make a decision? Like, what hobbies do you have? Everything doesn't have to be about me. Because you have to learn someone. You have to learn what they like. You have to learn their dislikes. You gotta have fun in more than one way. And when you are trying to build a relationship, a world, a life with someone, you have to get immersed into their world as well. And what I learned is that this person was literally, what are they called? I don't want to say like, but basically a copycat. He took on whatever personality of the woman that he was dealing with. His interests were her interests. His interests for every woman. You could have a woman that was into Barbie dolls, he was into Barbie dolls. You could have a woman that was into bowling, he was into bowling. You could have a woman that was into fishing, he loved fucking fishing. You could have a woman that was into whatever, and that's what he mimicked. That's what the word I was looking for, mimic, which is another word for copycat. But when you have a man that cannot make a decision, and that's one of the first things, that's one of the first signs, because you sit back and say, hey, I like you. This is a man. Hey, I like you. I would like to get to know you more. Do you want to go out on a date? And you're like, yeah. Then they're like, well, what do you want to do? Plan the date. Plan the fucking date. And then we go from there. That's where we learn certain things. And if you met a woman in a particular environment, I'm going to be risky, dare to even say, you already know what type of level that she's on. You already know that she's probably not going to wake up and go to Planet Fitness with you for a date. Like, what? She's not going to go for a walk with you. She's not going to go on a coffee date with you. And I remember seeing this one girl saying this dude wanted to take her out on a coffee date, but he didn't like coffee and she didn't drink coffee. So it was like, there's certain things, there's certain prerequisite questions to get to the point of the man planning a date. But the whole thing is plan the fucking date. That's what this is about. Plan the fucking date. Stop putting all the emotional labor on the woman under the guise of, well, I'm paying for everything, so you figure it out. It gets to be taxing. It's very fucking taxing emotionally. It's almost in a way manipulative to me. I'm not someone that throws around the word narcissistic, and that's not what I'm saying about this particular situation. That's not what this situation is. The situation was absolutely and when you sit back and look, and it's like, is it manipulative, or was this motherfucker just that dumb, unknowing, uncultured, and scared of life and scared of the world? And one of the things about the internet and meeting people in certain places that you might like, but not necessarily want to get to know someone, and not to judge people from being in certain places, because I still go to certain clubs. I still go to go-go's. I still do certain things where I wouldn't necessarily want to meet somebody in there, but if I do, okay, but I'm not expecting the best, if that makes sense, right? And so, I forgot where I was even going with that, so I could pivot. It was going to be good too. But anyway, with all of that being said, when it comes down to dating someone, make the man do the work, ladies. Again, we were talking about it last episode, I believe. It could be an immediate red flag. That can be a red flag where it's just like, hey, you don't know what to do. I'm good, babe. Don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We can move on from here, because if you can't do something simple, something basic, like plan a date, and not plan a date to where you took the last 3 girls, and not plan a date where you took the last 3 girls because one girl took you there. Hello, y'all hear me? It's not about being a favorite spot. It's about men not researching and doing, and they have TikTok just like we do. They have Instagram just like we do. They have Facebook just like we do. They have Twitter just like we do. They have fucking Google, Safari, the World Wide Web, to be able to, they have Chat GPT, and they're not using these things to make memorable impressions and experiences for the women in their life. It'd be like, what are y'all doing? You have all of this shit at your fingertips, but you're not using it. Use your brain, you know? And that's really what I had to say about that. Like, it's taxing, it's draining. I'm not going to be with someone like that again, you know. And the main takeaway from that is something that I've said another episode, and I'm going to say it in this episode again. You don't have to walk away from every relationship and every situationship with a baby. That's not something that you have to do. Because imagine being with a man and you have to plan everything for y'all, the emotional labor that goes into that, and he's not going to be able to wrap his head around or be smart enough to take care of a child. Now you've got 2. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing out here?